How you doing, everyone? It is Sunday night. It's 8 o'clock, or it's whatever time or day it is, whenever you're listening to the show. It's time for Brawcast. If you don't know what Brawcast is, it's an attitude podcast. We get to meet people from all around the world. We've had pro wrestlers. We've had, we've had BDSM models. We've had barbers. We've had beard models, of course, the hairy motherfuckers from the Brotherhood, and so much more. And the way it works is we get to talk not only about them, but we get to talk about where they are in the world, what they think of the world, and we also have a bloody good laugh for about 40 minutes. I'm Billy Kirkwood. Relax. I've never heard of me either. Before we get into this week's episode, you can do me a favor. You can hit the subscribe button, follow button, whatever it is, tag a pal. Let's get more of the episodes out there. And if you really want to show your support, here's what you do. You head over to brawbeardoils.com. They bring this show to you free each and every Sunday night. Costs you absolutely nothing. You can listen to it wherever you are. You can also watch the video version over the YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button. Hit the bell as well. The way it works is it's totally free, but if you head over there, you can check out some of the amazing products they have. Beard oils, snapbacks. Only found out what a snapback was the other day. Neck gaiters. They don't do socks. They do bath salts. All manner of stuff. You can head over there. Get yourself a neck gaiter. I didn't even know what a neck gaiter was, but get yourself a bloody neck gaiter. Head over right now, grab yourself something. It helps support the show and it helps bring us free. And as well as that, you can stay up to date with all the other sort of content and stuff that we're churning out. Right, our guest today. Well, how can I go about when I first met this gentleman? He was doing amazing magic and stand-up shows over in Ireland. We got to know each other a little bit, and I'm delighted because there's been a real evolution in the work he does. And I think the best way to introduce him is as the Prove It guy. Stay tuned. Here he is. Please welcome my pal. Here he is, Liam O'Neill. Hi, Liam.
Hello, Billy. How are you? I'm excited to be here. I'm super pumped with your fucking energy. That's brilliant.
Sorry, man. Sorry. It's I only, as you know, I've only got like one gear, and it's I've probably worn it out quite a bit. Man, it's so nice. I was just thinking the first time we met, I'm pretty sure it was at Daly's in Omaha, and it would have been, and you were doing table magic.
I used dailies as my way of perfecting my performances for when I did stage and corporate stuff. So it was sort of a baptism of fire. Every day you go in, every time you go to dailies, and everyone's there for a comedy club and to see people like yourself that they've heard of. And then I come along and I'm like, hello, do you want to see some magic? And they're like, who the fuck's this? But thankfully I am amazing at magic. So I was able to turn it around quite quick. So I did that, and then I started to do the stage and dailies as well. And that's where we met up.
Yeah, cool. It's because I think a picture popped up on my timeline the other day, and I was just looking. First of all, it's half the cast of fucking Derry Girls that are on in the one night, and Shane Todd there, and all manner of people that have been incredibly successful. But where are they now? Where are they now, Liam? Where are they now?
Never even heard of them.
Are they on Brawcast? Oh, they fuck. They're not on Brawcast. Right. Obviously, I've tracked your career away from that performance side for a while. What is the best way to break down what Liam O'Neill, the Prove It guy, means? What is that?
Basically, it means that I'm someone that can prove to you that you can do amazing superhuman things, as you'll see in my t-shirt. Yes. I believe everyone can be superhuman. This came about because people used to ask me at events and gigs when they were freaking out and stressed, and I was very calm. And then I would go on and smash my routine or do whatever I was doing, and then come back off, stay in calm. And they'd be like, how the fuck are you doing that? And like, I'm superhuman. And then I remember being asked in an interview one day, what does it feel like to be around people in general with your positivity and your attitude? And I was like, to be honest, I feel like I'm a superhuman, but I have the ability to teach others. People used to think I was special. Everything I did, I would like break a chopstick with my throat or wash my face in broken glass. And they go, that's you, you're special. And I would go, no, fuck, I can teach you this. This is all learnable skills. I didn't walk out the womb rubbing glass in my face. So that's what it all came about. But like with lockdown, the turnaround of lockdown, I realized that I missed being on stage. But I'm an analyzer. I'll analyze everything about what's going on. So what do I miss? And it was, for me, not the stage bit, really. It was the bit after where people come up and said, fuck, man, for the 20 minutes you were on stage, I forgot about how shit my life is, or I forgot how stressful things were. So it was helping people. And then just sort of developed from that. So the Prove It guy came out of the fact that everything I do, anyone can do if you just put in the effort, have the right knowledge. I wouldn't advise going and breaking a chopstick with your throat, because everyone keeps going for wooden ones, which is a terrible idea. Don't do that. Spoiler alert, you'll die. So that came from there. And then the superhuman thing, I love superheroes. I have a superhero version of me.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, that's kind of in a nutshell, that's what I do. And I make sure to do as much as I can to show people you're capable. Like, I could rhyme off like 15 things that I did that you'd go, what?
So you get people coming to you so was that where things kind of got turning? Was you working with people that were approaching you these gigs, or how did it sort of, who's the first client? I'm always interested, like, who's the first client or person that you worked with, apart from yourself, I guess, but you know what I mean? Who's the first person you connected with doing this type of thing?
The one that really turned it around for me was a guy that I met. We were waiting for a plane, and the plane was delayed by 3 hours.
Wow.
And everybody was fucking stressing, and they were still queuing, which I always think's mental. You're like, we just were told 3 hours, sit down. But we were sitting down, and they kept going back and forth with different information, telling us the flight had left and it was on its way and stuff, which made no sense, because London to Belfast is not 3 hours.
It is not 3 hours.
No. So this guy was freaking out, and he sat down beside me, and he was like, this is all bullshit. My friend just texted me. He's on the plane we're supposed to be on. They're still on the runway, and he's been on it for an hour, and he's had a packet of crisps and some water. This is bullshit. And I looked at him and I said, see that bathroom over there? And he's like, yeah. I was like, you could go and take a nice, comfortable toilet break. And he's like, right. I go, and see that wee cafe over there? You can go and have yourself a nice coffee and a scone. What are you talking about? I was like, your mate is stuck on a fucking plane and you're whinging when you have all this. I was like, who cares? Like, just sit down and chill out. And we got talking, and he ended up hiring me to work in his company to do like mindfulness for the whole team. I've actually worked with them since. I worked with them through lockdown as well. So I've worked with them for years now. They keep coming back. But I realized that all the stuff I had learned in the resilience tools that I use for myself, and the ability to go, like, the first time I was ever on stage was 100,000 people, and I had to hit a brick that was on a man's head with a sledgehammer, which went wrong, which was hilarious and terrifying all at the one time. That's a different story.
We might have to come back to it.
That was in Trafalgar Square for Chinese New Year. It was my first Kung Fu demonstration, like, ever.
Makes sense.
I'd been living in London about 3 weeks. It was madness. But I realized that I could pass this knowledge on. And then when I meet people, they never talked about the trick. I never wanted to be a magician that people said, oh, I love that trick you did. I love that card routine you did. I wanted them to tell me how they felt. I loved how, like I said a moment ago. So they were pretty much the first clients that got me thinking, fuck, I could do this for a job. But over lockdown, I realized that the thing I missed most was the people interaction and stuff. So I went back to my roots, which was teaching people physical, mental, and emotional strength. So I over the years, I did personal training and Kung Fu instructor, which was just, I hated the meditation. I just did it because I had to do it. It was just, now I've meditated daily, and I've meditated every day, 3 times a day for over 12 years at this point. Never missed a day. But at the start, I was just sitting going, oh, fuck's sake, let me just punch something. And then
do you know that meditation is something that I've been doing now for a couple of months. I've always kind of meditated, but it's been in the last 5 weeks, it's been something that I do on a regular basis. And it was funny because I actually did see someone literally the other day, because I do a breakfast radio show and stuff in the morning. And she asked me, it's like, so how many times a day do you meditate? And I went, 3. They went, all right, have you meditated this morning? Twice. It's like, have you? Yeah, I went, yeah, once on my way here, and then once before the show. Why? Because of the show. And I think people almost take it personally. It's like, oh, do you meditate before me because of me? It's like, no, not at all. Probably, but people don't understand that mindfulness. So you're helping people with the depression, anxiety, which the two, because of the uneducated some people just consider them, they consider them different entities, despite the fact they can be a little bit of crossover there, depending on the person. And mindfulness, which is not something you're taught at school. It's not something you're taught that you'll ever need to worry about in your life. Don't worry, as long as you're have 2.5 kids, you got money in the bank, all these things, you're going to be fine. Why would you ever need to worry about stuff like that? And are those some of the misconceptions that you've had to deal with trying to get this over to people?
Yeah, I've worked with like world-class fighters, MMA fighters, world champion, kung fu artists, things like that. And everyone's the same. The reason I started working with the MMA guys for championship fights was that'll be my break from the average Joe that has anxiety, depression, PTSD, that sort of stuff. Everyone has the same issues. They just have them on different levels. Like I've worked with people that have zero money and are stressed, and I've worked with people that are multi-millionaires and are stressed about money, and you're like, it's the same shit everywhere. So like the school one, for example, you're not taught mindfulness in school. I've been brought in a lot. Like I started doing it in London. I used to do 55 schools at Chinese New Year every year. And I took that to Oma whenever I came home, and a few different schools in the outskirts. And one of the things they always came back to me was, you had them silent. I was like, that's meditation, mindfulness. I know, but they're children. You're like, I have different ones that I made up, like, again, superheroes. So we dress ourselves in our superhero suit, and we see our problems coming at us, and we smash them, and it's like all madness, and we're up kicking and punching. They're psyched to the max with that. And then we sit down and go, right, now, what do we do when we've none of these problems? Let's go to a waterfall. Let's chill out and relax. So I'm making it more relatable, instead of, which I found over the years is an issue, where people go in and they teach mindfulness they could teach mindfulness to 100 different people the exact same way and go, this doesn't work for everyone. Of course it doesn't. Like, I know, because I know you, if I wanted to go mindfulness, I would start and I would talk about wrestling, tattoos, comedy, podcasting, beards, like all that sort of stuff. And you're already engaged. Because I'm saying that, you're like, I wonder what he's going to say. And then tattoos, I like tattoos. Fuck, that's all the stuff. You're switched on to it. So then if we get you to look at a tattoo and imagine the tattoo, if it was alive and moving, that's mindfulness. That's self-focus. Yeah. Imagine, like, you've got loads of different ones. So I'd pick one and imagine the strength of it, and we pull that strength into you. And then anytime you feel stressed or concerned, you just look at that tattoo and remember, fuck, I have the power. Like, I have a phoenix on this arm, and a dragon and a griffin. So I have the power of the phoenix. So every time I feel, I'm like, I'm ready to rise. Let's fucking go. But if I did I am a newborn crystal emanating light, you'd be like, oh, fuck, I want to be a phoenix smashing up, wrecking the place. So the people thinking that everything is singular. Oh, you have anxiety. Oh, that must be annoying. You're afraid of spiders. That mustn't affect any other part of your life. Yeah. Spiders live everywhere. For people that are afraid of them, they're fucking everywhere. They're like everywhere. You go to Asda, nah, seen a spider there. What? Do you want to go to that restaurant? Saw a spider outside it. Get the fuck. And you're like, oh, it affects a lot more. So people think it as a singular thing. Like, there's people that just watch this podcast that if you haven't explained what else you do, they're like, oh, that's Billy. He does that podcast. Yeah. You're like, no, he does all this other stuff as well. He just has a podcast as well. So I think the misconception is that there's something wrong with you to be anxious, depressed, and if I just avoid that thing, it'll never affect me, and then I'm just stressed. It's not causing me anxiety. And you're like, does it make you avoid things? Yeah. Then your stress is developed into anxiety, and because nothing's singular, that's why I ended up bringing back the weight loss with the mindset. I just remembered in the past, I was like, fuck, I worked with a lot of people on weight loss, and we did good, but when they left me, some of them would put the weight back on. Right. Like, why was that? Was it because they didn't understand the information, or because we didn't change anything deeper than I want to lose weight? So that, for me, the misconception is that it's all singular. You have this and you don't have anything else. And you can't get anything on top of it, and it can't develop into anything else either. Yeah. So you're kind of like, rather as some other person might be like, or would deal with this type of thing,
they might be quite right with this. Well, this is how I do it for all these different people. Here's my little type boxes. I'm going to tick all these, but you're kind of really looking under the hood of a person. You're kind of seeing who they're about, so you can dial into that space. And even like you say, people misconstrue what anxiety means. It's like, oh, I'm anxious about this, but realistically, they could be anxious about a negative thought they're having for like 6 months. The number of people that I know, they're anxious about a night out, and because they're anxious about all the bad things that might happen in a night out, they're not actually at the night out, and then it just all kind of breaks apart. Do you think that's the weirdest thing? Well, the best thing really, when you're kind of breaking this down to people, you actually do see them getting quite thoughtful and going, oh, that kind of makes sense, because you're able to put it in those terms that they understand.
I like it whenever they get to the point where they're like, oh, you're a dick. Because I'll say, like, I love linguistics and stuff, so I'll pick up on subtleties and I'll say, you said you needed that, and then you said you'll do that. So how can we need these two things and you'll just do that thing? And is that the thing you normally don't do? Yeah. Because you believe you need these. Oh, you're a dick. Aye. Like even this morning, I had we're doing like a 25-day challenge in my group at the minute. One of the girls posted it and she was saying that she, for 12 odd years, thought that weight loss was her goal. She wants to lose weight. If I lose weight, I'll be able to do all these things. And then she realized with working with me and going through this stuff that her goal is to be happier and healthier.
Yeah.
And fitter.
Mm.
So she's already now, she still has quite a bit of weight to go. She's lost a couple of stone, but she's still got quite a bit to go. But she's already able to do half the things she thought. When I get in like 3 years, when I get to where my goal is, I'll be able to walk up a mountain. I'll be able to run 5K. And she's like, I can already do this now because I put my focus. It turned out my priority wasn't weight loss, which I had been trying to point out for a while. And that's like, people might think they want to lose weight, but then it's something else. They want to either love themselves more. They want to get a partner. They want to just have more confidence. Yeah. So once they start to get that, you're not trying to lose weight anymore because you feel confident. And then you look at a scale one day and then you're like, oh, fuck's sake, I'm shit. You lose your confidence and you go, it's the weight. And that's the cycle that they be in over and over again. It must be the weight. It's this. It must be the weight. It's this. Like like you've been to the gym, if you hurt your back deadlifting because you did bad technique, you'd probably just avoid deadlifting forever because deadlifting is bad. And you look at them and they're double swinging arm curls and doing fucking crazy like kips. You're like, all of that is more dangerous than standing with a static bar and holding it and standing up. Go lighter and then build on it again. No, deadlifts hurt my back. Fuck that. How long ago was that? Well, 6 years.
Oh, fuck.
So you're like, so you'll never do that ever just because one time it hurt you because you were fucking stupid. So people get caught up in their own dogma, beliefs, whatever it is. I am an anxious person. Like my first question, if you came to me for anxiety, my first question is, right, you're Billy, the anxious guy. Yep. Everyone knows you're anxious. Yep. Perfect. We clear your anxiety today like that. Who are you now? What do you do? What? What do you mean? So you don't have anxiety anymore? How do you live your life?
Yeah.
Like one of the things that took me a while to notice, that I worked a lot with generalized anxiety and social anxiety, and I'd clear the social anxiety. We'd work together. We'd get rid of it. They'd come back a week later and they'd go, here, I went out and I was freaking out. And I was like, what did it feel like? And when they explained it, it sounded different. And then what I realized was, if you have social anxiety, you'll avoid socials. You'll only go to things you have to go to, and you'll sit in the corner and you'll hide and you'll hold your glass in the way so people can't talk to you. So if you clear that, if you're not afraid of social and you're not afraid of people looking at you because you understand that people don't do that, they're not, and the people that are just dicks anyway. You still have to learn how to be social. If you've never been social, you don't know what it's like. So you should feel a bit out of place, fish out of water, because you've never done it. You've never started a conversation. So there's more. So that's when I started to develop. There's more to it. And like, once we clear that, I'm going to teach you how to talk to people. I'm going to get like fucking Monty Python. I'm going to give you cue cards in your head that you can go, right, this is what I'll talk about. And then I teach some observation and stuff. So for you, I would look at you and go, right, tattoos. What does that tattoo mean? And you'll probably go off on a tangent. And then if I'm really unsociable, I'll be like, that's amazing. And what about that one? And that's a full conversation that you're enjoying because it's about you. It's nothing's placed on me. Eventually you'll ask me, have you got any tattoos? And then I'll shit myself again because I'll have to explain my decisions to you. But up until that, you've had a good 2 minutes of conversion.
There's a human exchange there that wasn't there before. And one of the things I thought was really interesting is that you were kind of saying to people there, you were almost humanizing them, sort of what's the thing?
Catastrophizing.
Like a catastrophizing. It's all right to be like that. Now let's deal with that. It's like you almost not labeling, not making feel like, hey, listen, you feel bad about going out because you don't go out and you're thinking about the worst case scenarios, which aren't going to happen. So let's work on it. And then sometimes people just being offered a solution. It's like, your teeth are dirty. You go and brush your teeth. Oh, I mean, that will fix it. That's amazing. And you're also picking up in the linguistics of what people are saying. Like, would that be like the difference between someone saying maybe should instead of must? Yeah. It's like, I should do that. Like, we should have a coffee, but we must have a coffee. It's different.
We must have a coffee is more inviting. You're giving me an option there. We must have a coffee. Yeah, it sounds like you want me to be there. I want to be there. Let's do it. We should have a coffee is more.
What does that mean?
It kind of takes away my choice as well. It's like a less subtle way of saying, like a car salesman. If a car salesman says, "Do you like this car? Would you like it?" You'll go, "Yes, no, haven't decided." Do you want this car in red or blue? Fuck blue. I love blue. I'll take blue. Yeah. Now it's not about, will I take the car or not? It's what I've already decided. Yes, it's what color I'm going to take. So that's how subtle changes in your verbalage. I was going to say, I don't even know if that's a word, but I like it.
Verbalage. I don't know if it is. I like it though. Verbalage. I'm going to try and get that into every conversation for the rest of the day I have. Just to see if I can catch people out. But one of the things is, you were talking about living life without restriction, superhuman. And like you say, you're working on people from the inside out. You're working for people on the inside out. You've built together the group of people that you mentioned talking together. That actually really interested me. So are you encouraging a community amongst your clients and people that you work with in order to hold each other up, or is it just almost? I mean, I don't like using the phrase like support group, but that could in its own way be what I guess some people could see it as. But what would you view it as, this community that you're building?
Just as a segue, you didn't want to call it a support group and you called it community. That is linguistics that you know already that you're doing. You're like, no, it doesn't sound right. This sounds right. Without
okay. I think I find it's verbalage.
That's verbalage that is very good. This sounds terrible. I say to them all the time, if I die tomorrow, you are fine. You have all my information until like 30 days and no interaction, and Facebook shuts my thing down. You have all my videos, you have all the interaction, you have my book, you have my journal, you have everything that you need to achieve what you want to achieve. But more importantly, you have the support of the group. The group is more of a community, because if you were in my group and you put a post in saying, finally got back to the gym after Christmas, struggling with it. Before I even get there, some will write, that's amazing, back at the gym, what did you do? Like, they want to know. Yeah. And they'll say things like, fuck, sure, that's 2 weeks. Like most of them now are back to their pre-weight, Christmas weight now.
Right.
They got Christmas over them. They gained maybe a pound, 2 pound, 3 pound. They're back down to where they started. And rather than going, if they were on their own, they'd be like, fuck, no, I'm just back to where I started. They're like, holy fuck, I got through Christmas, only gained this and lost it all again. And now I know what to do. And I really enjoyed Christmas, instead of, which would have happened last year before they were working with me, half-ass Christmas, put on a load of weight anyway, because you're like, fuck it, doesn't matter. I've already fucked this up. And then not know how to lose it, and then just progressively get worse. So the community is there. And like, even one of the girls recently walked to Amsterdam from somewhere that's 60 kilometers away. Like, she'll tell you she literally walked her ass off. But she posted yesterday saying, I on one of the PDFs I wrote the quote, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with friends. And she wrote in it, I was alone doing the 60 kilometers, but I didn't feel alone. I was by myself, but I knew everybody was there behind me. And if I was stuck, you would help me. I could just text in the group or whatever. So you want to build a community of people that are supportive, because like one of the things I get people to do, if you wanted to make a life change, like a big life change, I would ask you to write down 5 people that can and will help you. So 5 people that can and will help you. And people go, yeah, fuck, brilliant. Write down. Then I say, right now, I want you to do is write down 5 people who can and will not help you. People that you know could help you, but don't give a shit, so won't. And then everyone goes, ooh, fuck, right. Then you're realizing, fuck, I usually go to gym whenever I'm struggling with my weight loss, and he always goes, oh, again, fuck, how many times is this you've tried? And then I give up. So he could help me, but he doesn't. So I'll just avoid him.
Yeah.
And I'll go to one of these 5 instead. And there's a couple other people to avoid, because every time I go to them, they dump all their shit on me, and then I'm left feeling shittier. I never got to like express myself, and I'll just avoid them too. So it's a hard thing to do, to look at your circle and realize, like, it's different for people like us, because we have massive circles, small circles. We have such random circles. Like when you come and do comedy stuff, you have your comedy circle, and the people that know you from radio would see you in the comedy circle and be like, fuck, they're not the type of people I thought he'd be hanging about with. He hangs out with. You know what I mean?
Trust me, when people have heard me on the breakfast radio and then they've come and seen a gig, they get a bit of a fright.
I would imagine.
But I can understand that as well, because you've also got, you mentioned your the community. They're also being supportive when, people maybe have had, for whatever reason, a hard time getting back in the horse. They're encouraging them to even go for the low-hanging fruit. You know, you might think, well, this isn't going to do anything. I just did a 15-minute walk. It's like, well, you did it. You did a 15-minute walk. And then next week, you're going to do a 20-minute walk and a 25-minute walk. And then next minute, you're walking your ass off on the way to Amsterdam, which sounds mental and amazing at the same time.
Yeah. Pretty much.
You're going to be hitting up the cafes when you get there. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying.
Closed. They're all closed.
Oh shit! So they are.
Which makes it a bit more mental when you think about it.
You can go and see a windmill or something, I guess. Would that be? Do they have windmills in Amsterdam?
Or is that they do in Holland?
Oh, I'm well off then. I'm just thinking
of Spider-Man Homecoming or Welcome Home or Next Door. Whenever they went to the field, they get picked up. I thought that was Holland somewhere. Windmills. Don't know.
I think what the fucking excuse me, Homecoming. I think it was Homecoming. Love that film.
You excused yourself for cursing. I've been cursing away. Am I not supposed to curse?
No, you can cuss all you want. You can cuss all you want. I think it was more like, why are you swearing in the middle of a sentence randomly? I think it was, what are you doing? When you're having a thought and you're swearing, who knows? But it's done amazingly well. I've got to ask, in terms of the people you're helping, you mentioned millionaires. I've got to ask from my point of view, and I know there'll be a lot of people watching who are maybe that little bit older, and this came about from a random conversation that I had with someone that went, oh no, I'm too far set in my ways. This is it.
I hate that.
And that is that's the type of thing that I know that if people say about stress and stress equals fear, I get that. And then you can kind of like, that's always the way of, no. If I'm stressed, then I'm scared of something. I need to figure out what I'm scared of, and I can work it out. But the idea that someone would turn around and go, oh, this is it, at any age, I find terrifying. That not so much for me, for them. What would you say to those people? What would you say to those people that are just like, there it is? Or someone that's a little older and they maybe are a little more self-aware that, I know this maybe isn't where I'd want to be, but how would I even begin starting?
I like to have a story always to fall back on. So my Tai Chi instructor was about 83 when she was teaching me, something like that.
Okay.
She was 66 when she started Tai Chi. So she was a primary school teacher, left teaching, retired, became a Tai Chi instructor. She used to get me up. I lived with her for a while. She used to get me up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and
I've got many questions about that, Liam, but I'll come back to that another time.
She was my master's mum, So when I moved over to London, I was like moving over. I worked in a wee shop. I had no money, and I was like, "Give me a job and let me live in your house, and let's do this. I'll do it." Like fucking when I eventually moved out because I was a big man, I ended up living in fucking rice and red sauce for about 3 months, which was gross as fuck, grim. But she used to do like stand and leg competitions with me, hit me with sticks, loads of stuff. And I was like, she's old as tea, according to most of these people.
Yeah.
Like the it's always been this way, or I've always been like that. I hate that response. So I would always suggest to people, like, do something. Today, drink a glass of water standing in your garden. That's two things. You're out in nature and you're drinking some water. Water's good for you. Nature's good for you. Do that. That's a new thing you've never really done before. Go and do that. Tomorrow, do it and then take a lap of your garden. You don't have a garden, drive somewhere, go and walk about. Just do anything. So this is, I suppose, would be taken from Mark Manson's book. The subtle art of not giving a fuck, isn't it?
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
Where it's just people look for inspiration, motivation when you should really be just taking action. So instead of waiting for an external, just do something. Just do anything. Like, what is it? If you are self-aware enough to know this isn't what I want, get self-aware enough to know, well, what do you want? What would you like to do? Like, I'd like to ride a bike. Then fucking get a bike with some stabilizers and ride a bike. Like, what's the worst that'll happen? You'll discover you don't want to ride a bike. Do something else. Like, the thought, I'd be the same as you. The thought of just hitting 60 or whatever and going, well, yep, that's that. But you know what's more terrifying is I meet people, like my youngest ever clients, whenever I was just doing Reiki, were newborn babies. The youngest baby that was ever brought to me was 2 days old, was mad. And my oldest client ever that told me their age, I think there's older people, but the one that I know for a fact was 89.
Holy crap.
I have met people from primary school right up to 89 that tell me this is the way I always been. And I'm like, you're 7? Or a parent. Whenever I was working with kids, I used to have to ring the parent beforehand and say, look, at some point we're going to fall out in this. At some point, I'm probably going to tell you to shut up. There's a good chance I'm going to make you stand outside the room. You'll still be able to see us, but the kid won't see you. Because if you answer their questions that I ask them, like I would play dumb, like, how much I love superheroes.
Yeah.
I would question the kid, what do you like, what do you like, what do you like, what do you like, what do you like? Superheroes? What's a superhero? What? What the fuck's a superhero? Like soup that we eat? And I play dumb as fuck. No, a person with superpowers. What the fuck's a superpower? We get talking and they tell me, I get so much out of that I'm able then to work with them. But the parent will answer, like, whenever Fortnite was massive, what's a Fortnite? Oh, it's this game. What's a game? It's on the computer. What's a computer? Shut the fuck up. Continue. What's a Fortnite? And then because I'm playing dumb, I'm able to say, and they, like, with anxiety and stuff, you want to change state. I want to get you to stand. I want to get you to sit. I want to get you to move. But if I say to a kid, stand up for me, sit down, they're not going to do it if they're anxious and freaking out.
Yeah.
But because I know stuff, I can say something like, and what did you say? There was a dance or something in it? They never said that, but there is a dance. And they'll go, the floss. And I'm like, no, that's your teeth. It's this. And they get up and do it. And they sit down and they're already feeling better.
Yeah.
And then we get into what we're doing.
Yeah.
So I've had, like, it is terrifying when older people say it, but I have parents that put it on the kid. Terrible. Like, I didn't do PE at school. My report from PE school was, I haven't seen Liam in 3 years, but I think he's in the band. The cool band, like, I played a bass. I wasn't like an American band. Not that that's not cool, but it's not as cool as playing the bass.
No.
So I didn't do anything. I didn't do PE, didn't do sport, didn't do anything. Then I devoted my life to martial arts and fucking exercise and stuff. So if you met me back when I was even just 15, so I had 16 and then all this happened. So 15, No, wasn't allowed in any classes in school. Didn't study. Hadn't read a book. Didn't do fucking anything. I remember getting searched for fireworks one time at school, and the teacher going fucking mental because not only did I not have fireworks, I didn't even have books. I was just carrying a bag with a coat in it, so it looked full. And my response was, I don't use them. I'm not going to carry them. They're wild heavy.
Yeah.
And they were just lying in a room that I knew wasn't used in the school. Just all my books, just all sitting there, just waiting to be lifted at the end of the year so I could give them back and be like, oh, thanks.
Oh, there you go. They were great. Thank you.
Took him about 2 years to work out. Fuck, his books are always pristine. Always pristine when he gets them back. But so if you met me and you were like, oh, you've always been lazy, you've always been uneducated, you've always hated school, you've always done this, I would still be always that.
Yeah.
And like I've wrote my own book. I'm on the cover of it.
It is. It is.
That what I like about
the copy. I've got my copy over there again. Thank you.
You've probably got the original.
I think original. I do. No, I think it's the other one I've got.
Oh, maybe actually I would. Well, the original got changed because people kept asking me, was it about fighting?
Oh, right. I get that. Okay. That makes sense.
Like, yeah. See, even with all my awareness, I didn't get that. I just thought that I look fucking cool. Get me on a cover. I'll write a book just to be on the cover of it.
Look at that, sweetheart. Look at that. Yeah. Look at that. It's what the people want. It's what the people want.
Because it wasn't. So I would suggest, back to the original question, get them to do something. A kid doesn't do anything, just plays computer games, doesn't do anything. Get them to do something. And for children, I always refuse to teach one-to-one kids in martial arts because I could create a good fighter very fast, but he wouldn't be more sociable. She wouldn't be able to interact with people that have no more confidence, that would be very confident around me and their ability to kick ass. But outside of that, they wouldn't have. So I always refused it. And when I got them into classes, the wrestling class or the kung fu class or just the Chinese kickboxing, whatever it was, even the Tai Chi, the parent would go, well, eventually, you're right, actually. Like, they're interacting with, it's not just interacting with me and getting comfortable with me, it's interacting with everyone throughout their peers and everything. So just do something. Like, if you lost your arm tomorrow, you wouldn't be like, well, I used to do everything with 2 arms. That's how I lived my whole life. I'm doing I can't do anything now. Sit down. You'd adapt and learn. And that's an extreme example, but you'd adapt and learn. And that's my go-to. Whenever people say to me they just want to lose weight, I'll always say, well, I could do that 30 seconds. I have a katana over there. I can take your arms straight off. You probably lose about a stone. Jesus. No, I'm like, so you don't want to lose weight. It's not about the number. You want to tone, you want to change your body, not just weigh less, because we can make you weigh less by just taking a fucking limb off you. So I'm curious now why I keep going to, probably because I have swords everywhere.
I'm wondering, yeah, if you're looking at swords right now, that's the space you must be in.
Yeah.
All I could think of was that video I saw the other day where they started experimenting giving people the extra finger. Have you seen it? It's like counterbalanced finger thing, and people have found it so easy because it's there. Apparently it's where we used to have a finger there. So people are doing stuff with one arm, like they're able to hold something and then take the lid off with the other 2 fingers. And I was like, fucking hell, I want one of them now. Can I get one of them now? That's just...
Well, where does evolution come in there? That they were like, here, nah, fuck it. Like, we've more jars than we would have had when we had that arm.
Exactly.
Finger, so
exactly.
Maybe evolution is bullshit.
I think it's the jar makers. That's what I fucking think it is. I think it's somewhere along the lines we're just lopping them off. Talking about lopping off, we've got to get to the weight loss thing from a different way, because one of the things you said was just before we kicked off was living without restrictions, right? Which I thought was really interesting, because there is so much misinformation out there that's kind of painted as authorities. I mean, if you go on TikTok right now, every other video is, oh, I lost this by doing this, and I did it, but everything contradicts itself. I've noticed in the last 6 months that calorie deficit has come in, and I know from when I've lost weight before, and trust me, I put about 2 stone back on. I'm a fat mess, but I know exactly why. But I know calorie deficit is so important. But one of the things you had was, again, like you were talking about with your, dealing with anxiety and depression, was reprogramming up here. What's your method to go about, or what? I don't want to say it's unorthodox, because I don't think it's unorthodox, but it's
it's not unorthodox. It's based around the calorie deficit.
Yeah.
But I understand that, like, say if you went plant-based, I did plant-based for a year just to try it out, like full extreme, and you'll lose weight on that. But really, when it boils down to it, is you're in a calorie deficit. It's fucking hard. Like, I was trying to put weight on. It was so hard to eat 3,000 calories off veg. Like, if you're listening to this, go and buy like 3,000 calories of spinach and look at it.
Bloody hell.
It's a lot. Like, so whenever it boils down, you're and here when I'm talking now, just so I don't get any fucking people whinging about it, I'm not talking about health in this conversation at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't care about health. I just care about weight loss in this conversation. So if you know you just need to be in a calorie deficit, we can do the math. There's millions of people right now that are doing it. Any bodybuilder, fighter, like Instagram person, they're doing it for their photos and stuff. Everyone's got different reasons for doing it. But if you know your age, your weight, and what you want to do, so say you want to lose 2 pounds a week, that'd be a lot to start with. Very hard to maintain, but it's doable at the start. You'll get newbie losses at the start. But like, I released a video recently about if I was a 16 stone woman, I wanted to lose 3 stone. I want to do a pound a week. That'll be 42 pounds. That'll be 42 weeks. So now I already have a metric and a math. So in 3 weeks, I'm not going, fuck's sake, I'm not 3 stone down yet. You go, oh, I'm exactly where I should be. Whereas if we haven't got that metric, we go, 3 stone, fuck's sake. I'm only 3 weeks, 3 pounds. This is shit. I'm not doing it. This doesn't work for me. It doesn't work for me. And then we go and try a new magic diet that might work. So if I know that, then that worked out at 1,707 calories a day I'd have to eat to lose a pound a week to get 3 stone off in 42 weeks. So I know that. That's just what would happen if I did that. But I will tell people to count your calories over the week rather than daily. Because if you fuck up a day and you've been doing this for a long time, you'll be like, fuck, this is week's fucked now. I'll just start again on Monday. Whereas if you count, and before lockdown and stuff, I would have said to people, count from Friday. So then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you know how much of a fucking lunatic you were. So now you're in poverty calories for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then start again. And then you'll stop being a dick. You'll stop drinking 15 beers and shots of...
Oh, my. That already is mind blowing, because everyone goes for Monday. Everyone goes for Monday.
Yeah. So, but it's easy to be good on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday, I've been so good this week. Friday is pizza and beers. Pizza and beers. I feel a bit sluggish and tired tomorrow. Fuck it, let's just get a Chinese and let's have breakfast. Let's do this. So then you might do. So say if it was 1707, you might do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 1707. Boom, I'm the fucking king. 3,000 on Friday, 2,500 on Saturday, 3,000 on Sunday. Weigh yourself on Monday. I'm overweight. What the fuck? How did that happen? Sure, I was so good most of the week. And you're like, yeah. If I didn't punch you in the face all week, and then I punch you in the face on Sunday night, you're not going to sit going, why is my face so sore? I haven't been punched all week. Like, I know it's an extreme example, probably the swords again, but it's an extreme example. But so if you know exactly what you should be eating to do what you want to do, then you could eat McDonald's all day, every day, and just stay within your deficit, and you'll lose weight. You'll be unhealthy as fuck, but you'll lose weight. So now if you understand that, nothing's out of... There's no red button to press that blows everything up anymore. You can eat. So I can eat, and people will say it, so I like ice cream, so I can eat ice cream. I'm like, if it's in your allotted calories, so I can eat a burger. Yeah. So I can have a Chinese. You eat whatever the fuck you want. Just keep below there and then see. But then people start to realize, see that day that I ate that real healthy meal, like I'll give recipe books out to all my clients. See that day I ate that healthy meal, I felt deadly. I had more energy. I slept better. I didn't have lucid dreams that freaked me out. I didn't even feel as anxious and stressed. Must be a coincidence. Then we do it again a couple of days later, and they go, "Fuck, wait a minute. I had that meal and I felt good, and then I had this meal and I feel good. And the days that I eat the Chinese's and the shit, I feel shit and bad."
Oh, shit.
Oh, that's what he's saying. So then it gets to the point, like, I'm always asked whenever we used to go out and stuff, and I would order healthier, why don't you just eat whatever you want? Like, I do eat whatever I want. It just happens that what I want is healthier than what you want. So it's not that I'm punishing myself or sitting going, this is something that you could do forever. That's the main thing. Can you do fasted 16 hours fasted, 8 hours eating, fasted cardio, fasted workouts? Yeah, easy peasy. Will you lose weight if you stay in a calorie deficit? I know people that fasted and come back to me and go, here, I just did 8 hours of eating and 16 of no eating, and I'm still putting weight on. I'm like, what are you eating? It doesn't matter. Yeah. Fasted. You're like, does matter. And then they'll say, and I do fasted cardio, which amps up my blah, 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 and then I'm this and this and that and this. And you're like, if you eat before, like if I had, for easy math, 100 calories before my workout or 100 calories after my workout, it's still 100 calories. It's a unit of measurement, not, doesn't mean it's healthier. Like you could eat it of fruit. That will be much healthier than eating it of jelly beans. But that's like, I got called out on this by plant-based guys that I'm friends with that called me out on it. And they were saying about optimal health, whatever. And I was like, this isn't what this is about at the minute. If you take Betty, who's been living a sedentary life and is overweight her whole life and hates herself and just doesn't know what to do, but even though she knows exactly what to do, she's done it. Like most people that come to me are already weight loss experts. They've done it so many times. They're just not consistent, healthy experts. Do you know how to lose weight? No. Have you ever lost weight before? Yeah, 6 stone. Fuck me. How'd you do that? I did this, this, and this. So it was the after effect. It was the after bit. So whenever you approach it with nothing's restricted, I can do whatever I want. I just need to stay within my calories. The week counts, not the day. Far less pressure. Starting on a Friday and counting just makes so much more sense because we're more likely to go off on one. There's a guy I follow that I like, and he was talking about he doesn't trust his drunk self. He's super minted. He's like, I don't trust my drunk self. And I had a seminar the next day and we were having a party at my hotel. Right. So I hired a bouncer to keep me in the hotel room because I know drunk me will want to go partying. They were in Vegas. He was like, drunk me will want to go partying. That'll be bad. So hired a bouncer. When it got to drunk me wanting to go partying, the bouncer was like, sit back down. And he was like, all right. So that's what you're kind of doing with a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You're letting drunk you or weekend me go mental. And then week you has to suffer, and week you fucking hates weekend you then. And then you start to, your awareness goes through the roof. You're like, I didn't even need that. I went and had a fucking kebab at 2 o'clock in the morning. Why did I do that? I wouldn't even need a kebab right now if I had it in front of me.
Weekday you starts leaving notes for weekend you, and weekend you starts listening.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden you're having, Wednesday is time to have a lovely meal. And in my group, we do recipe of the week, and it's Wednesday. Because most times if you're doing it stupidly by Wednesday, you're fucked. Yeah. You're on like cardboard and stupid, like sucking on dew from a lemon or whatever. So it's getting that point where you're not restricting yourself. You're just counting your calories. Again, you don't need to count calories forever. You count calories for awareness. Like one of the examples I used in the group, one of the girls in the group eventually decided to count her calories and track stuff, weigh things just to see what it was like, see if I was talking shit or what. She measured out, I don't know if you eat cereal, but cereal, it says 30 grams. This is how much it weighs. And you go, a bowl of cereal is 30 grams. Anyone watching, if you eat cereal, eyeball your cereal as normal and then weigh it. And then all right, this isn't a normal bowl. What the fuck are they eating out of teacups or what? Like, so she thought she was eating 30 grams, but she was actually eating 97 grams plus milk. So you're like, well, if only you became aware of that and your eyeball, and even if you're not weighing because you don't want to weigh your whole life, you just eyeball it and go, that's definitely not 3 times as much as I thought. But imagine if you believed in your head, I eat a wee bowl of cereal, 30 grams of cereal. I eat this, I eat that. Like, I'm very healthy. The amount of people come to me, I'm very healthy. I don't eat anything bad. And when we weigh some stuff, they go, this week must be an off week. And you're like, sure it is. So just building that self-awareness, and then it becomes a question of, I'm going to eat the chocolate bar. Do I need the chocolate bar? Not really. I could just eat a banana.
Yeah.
And other times, like, I work with a lot of women, so there's times in the month where I'm like, go and eat the chocolate. You're doing my fucking head, and just go, and like, your body is craving it. The stuff in the chocolate is good for you. Just eat it. Like, instead of staring at it and stressing out, just do it, and then make up for it later with a salad or something. Yeah. So there's different times where your awareness will kick in and give you different responses to what's going on. But if you don't have that awareness to deal with, and you feel like you have to be restricted, have to be fasted. And the main thing with social media, like you were saying about social media, people watch social media, they look at it and go, right, so that workout she did helped her gain this muscle and lose this. And you're like, yes, but the bit she's leaving out is the amount of steroids that she's taking on top of that. James Smith had a good video out the other day about it, saying about they'd be stupid not to, because they're selling based on their body, and because they're not. If athletes who are stringently tested all the time are taking steroids, why wouldn't Instagram Joe not take it?
It's a good point.
When it sells his stuff, the more, like, if I'm super ripped beefcake guy and I appear and be like, hello, I'm super ripped beefcake guy. If you hold my pencil and shake it a lot like this, you'll lose 58 pounds. You'll be like, well, look how ripped he is. I need a special pencil. Like protein shakes, there's protein shakes for everything. Every sport has a protein shake.
Oh, don't get me started on protein shakes.
But how does that make any sense? This protein shake is designed specifically for pole dancers. All right. What is that? What? So I need to take that one. I was just taking the one designed for footballers, but I need a Gaelic football one now, because this week I'm playing Gaelic. Like, it doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? But if you sell it right, people will buy it. People will buy the shortcut because their lack of knowledge about themselves rather than lack of knowledge of the industry. That would be my thoughts.
Well, I'll level with you. I've been literally sitting here listening, taking mental notes, going like, right, as I am getting back onto things, I think I'm going to start doing the Friday morning weigh. The Friday morning weigh, that's going to make it. And then come Tuesday, it's like, God, I'm doing amazing. 2 days of just not eating out the bin. Who'd have thought this? There is so much to cover, but we're coming to the end of our time here, and there's so much. It's about what you're doing is helping people reprogram themselves, and it's incredible. But what is the best way for people to get in touch? Because I know obviously we've got Liam, the Prove It guy. Is that still the best way for people to find you on all the social medias, Liam?
Yeah. So if you find me through that, and then you can just add me on everything. I'm on every platform doing
LinkedIn.
All this. I'm on LinkedIn. I don't do a lot on it, but I'm there.
Nobody does. Nobody does, Liam. Nobody does.
I'm there. I'm there in spirit. LinkedIn. Facebook is where you'll get. Facebook and Instagram are where I'm most active.
Yeah.
And then just reach out to me if you have any questions. I'm happy to answer anything. And I have a podcast that I am getting the bug for restarting again. And Brilliant. This is sort of pushing it a bit more. So I'm going to do that. Might get some old guests back.
Good luck. Oh, myself, right?
Yes.
Who knows? Maybe even by then I'll be able to come back to Ireland, which has been put off so many times over the last couple of years. Bless it. Yeah. Bless it. But I think it might actually be a little closer, supposing I've got to take a lesson off your pal and walk there, which will be difficult with the water. But who knows? It could happen.
Fuck, well, that's very deep. We talked about evolution, Jesus.
It went all over the place. I did not see any of this happening there. But listen, it's been so lovely to catch up with you, and it's amazing to see the evolution and what you're doing. Everyone give it up. What I'll do is I'll pop you back in the green room and I'll just wrap up to everyone. But I trust wherever you are, if you're watching this on a laptop, you're watching this on your phone, or whatever it is, you're listening to it, open that tab, go and follow Liam, the Prove It guy. He's, like I say, he's on all the social medias. Go and follow him right now. Reach out to him. Take the journey. Liam, thank you very much. I'll pop you in there just 1 second. Cheers. That's all we've got time for. And this episode of Brawcast, this has been one of my favorites. I've absolutely loved it. Head over and check out Liam O'Neill. So much to cover there. We could have Liam on as a guest again. I think we've got to have to do that already because I can already feel there's going to be loads of questions ramping up. That's all we've got time for. What am I doing gigs-wise? A couple have been asking. Well, I've got a couple of gigs coming up over the next couple of weeks. You can catch me at the Glee in Glasgow. You can also catch me at Cry or Laugh, which is going to be at the Classic Grand in Glasgow as well. Yes, ICW is going to be back soon, so I'll keep you informed. But don't forget, you can still get your tickets to see Brawcast live February 19th at the Dry Gate in Glasgow as restrictions are getting lifted. Let's make it. There's going to be a mix of some comedy. There's going to be a mix of live interviews, some brilliant guests. Head over and check that out right now at Braw Beard Oils and get yourself a wee treat there as well. Check out the archive. You know how it works. That's all we've got for this week's episode. I'll see you next time. Cheers.